Luka Doncic has led the Mavericks outright in points, rebounds, and assists 119 times in his career. That's the third most by any player in NBA history. The only players with more are Nikola Jokic and his new teammate LeBron James. So two of the top three ever are now together on the LA Lakers. Speaking of the West Side, there's my girl, Chiney Ogwumike. Chiney, it's been way too long, but I've been seeing you on TV, so great to have you with us. Good morning. Chiney, what was your reaction when you first heard about this trade?
My reaction was like everyone else. I was super shocked. This is the most shocking trade we've ever seen in NBA history. But I've been listening to the program this morning. You guys have made a lot of compelling points. I want to try to fill in the gaps on some of these circumstances. This trade was seismic, right? The first thing that came to my mind was player empowerment. The last decade or so, the NBA has been dictated by the players, where they want to go. I mean, we're seeing this situation happen with Jimmy Butler, but this feels different, right? It's no longer this idea that the players are all powerful. You have GMs that are making moves in the quiet. And this type of move was huge. It was shocking. And then secondly, you think about LeBron James. You think about Kevin Durant. You think about Steph Curry. It really feels like the transfer of power is here. This feels like the first real acknowledgement that we have to really stop and smell the roses and enjoy what they have done for the game. Because right now we see the succession plan in full effect when it comes to Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron. And lastly, I'll say this. I use the word seismic for a reason, because when trades like this happen, put your head on a swivel. There are ripple effects. There are players in locker rooms that have new teammates that are like, is my role here good? You might still see some interesting movement in the near future. But as it pertains to the Los Angeles Lakers, it was all about the long term. And I think it's wild, coming off of the heels of a game versus your New York Knicks, seeing LeBron James go for a triple-double. This was a game that was his highest usage so far this year, and now you bring in Luka Doncic to help alleviate that. That's what LeBron James has been looking for a long time, a secondary ball handler, another playmaker, and now you've got one that happens to be, as you guys mentioned, the third highest scoring average in NBA history that is 25 years old. So now you're looking at the long term for Los Angeles. Now, they clearly still have needs at the center position, and most importantly, defensively, because that's a strong backcourt with LeBron, Luka, and Reeves, but they're going to have to defend, especially without their rim protection. So this is all about the Lakers in the long term, and I do believe that they won this trade because of that. They've got one of the best players. I mean, other than Victor Wembanyama, under the age of 25, they've got a star, a certified top 3 player in the NBA for the next few years to come. And lastly, I'll say this, when it comes to Lakers, if this does not make Luka Doncic mad, if this does not piss him off to the point of greatness, if this does not develop a huge chip on his shoulder to be an MVP in the next few years when he has the requisite team, I don't know what will. Because you remember the criticism that happened during the NBA Finals this past year. It was all about the blow-bys and how he had lackluster defense. And you think about that, and how did he respond? With question marks as pertained by the Dallas Mavericks, to the point that forced him to be traded. If this does not put him on point for the years to come, I don't know what will, and I think we might get the best version of Luka moving forward in a Los Angeles Lakers uniform.
Shannon, you got something to say?
Oh, it's just you two,
oh, it's just
Stephen.
me. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. I think the most important point that you brought up was the transition, player empowerment. A superstar at age 25 who is a global iconic basketball superstar has been traded. And not only was he traded, they cost him over $100 million in the process.
116 to be exact.
So it's not just about letting him go to another team. Collectively, even if it wasn't the intent of the Dallas Mavericks, you ultimately find yourself thinking about what Kevin Durant talked about. Kevin Durant brought up, loyalty. If it were the players, everybody would question that. Look at what the teams do. Devin Booker alluded to something along those lines, along with a bevy of other players in the National Basketball Association. This move by the Dallas Mavericks has owners throughout the league celebrating, because they're like, we want to remind you who the hell is really, really running the show. And you could be under contract. You can get your dollars. It can be guaranteed.
Nobody's safe.
But nobody is safe. And by sending that message, they're hoping that the power alignment will get back to being what it once was. I don't think that'll happen either, but I think this is a reminder that nobody is safe and you got to conduct yourself and conduct business a bit differently.
Stephen A., you like good places. You're here in Los Angeles, but you left us in Los Angeles for another place in Florida.
Right.
One thing people aren't talking about is no state income tax as well.
That's right.
If he got that $345 million in Texas, that hits different than getting that, even though he's missing out on 116
He's
in
only not only missing all of that, but it's a 9% dip because he's losing about 9% of his money by having to go from Texas to California on top of the 100+ million he lost out on.
Making moves in silence, here for it. Yesterday, Luka posted the following farewell statement to Dallas, saying in part, 7 years ago, I came here as a teenager to pursue my dream of playing basketball at the highest level. I thought I'd spend my entire career here, and I wanted so badly to bring you a championship. As I start the next part of my basketball journey, I'm leaving a city that will always feel like a home away from home. Here's the man that sent him packing, Mavs GM Nico Harrison, on the impact of culture when it came down to this trade.
As we turn the page, I think it's important to know that Jay Kidd and I, we've had a vision in the culture that we want to create since we've been here. And the players that we're bringing in, we believe exemplify that. And, you know, we think defense wins championships. And we're bringing in one of the best two-way players in the league. Listen, one thing about me, I'm not going to talk bad about any players. Like, that's not going to do, you know, us or me any good. I just say there's levels to it. And there's people that fit the culture, and there's people that come in and add to the culture. And those are two distinct things. And I believe the people that were coming in are adding to the culture.
He's not going to speak to it, but he believes there's two different things, people that speak to the culture and don't. Obviously says a lot there. Our guy Kendrick Perkins with us. Big Perk, thank you so much for being here. I want to start with you. Perk, what was your reaction when this went down?
Oh, it was the biggest trade in NBA history. You're trading an international superstar for an all-NBA player in Anthony Davis. No one expected it. It happened out of nowhere, and both sides won. I believe right now the Dallas Mavericks are the biggest winner. The Los Angeles Lakers won for the long term, and I just think overall no one should be upset. All parties won. That was my initial reaction, Molly.
Okay. Stephen A.
If I'm Luka, I'm disappointed.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Wow.
Stephen A., I'm sick. If I'm Luka, I'm sick. Bro, I had an opportunity to get $69 million a year, and with no state income tax, I cannot get the max now, super max now. I'm going to a state that's 13%, about to go to 15% state taxes, and I ain't even mentioned anything about that 40, 36, 39% federal tax. I'm absolutely sick.
Well, if you're feeling that way, you know how I feel, because I definitely think you're absolutely right about that part. Big Perk, not only is it true what Shannon pointed out, but as you pointed out, Perk, the Dallas Mavericks are going to be better. They're going to be better than the Los Angeles Lakers for the immediate future. The Dallas Mavericks got an opportunity to come out of the West. If you're Luka, you're believing, hey, we just went to the finals. We could have went back again. So I've gone to a situation, yeah, the Lakers have the allure. They've got the higher profile. And certainly down the line, because Luka's a generational talent, the Lakers clearly made the right moves for themselves. But if you're Luka, you went to a worse situation than you were in, and you lost 9 figures. And the taxes are going to be punitive as well. All of that comes together for Luka is what I'm saying.
Hold on, time out. You're talking about Luka Doncic, a guy that changes economy, going to the most historical one of the most historical franchises in sports in the Los Angeles Lakers. By the way, where he's going to get more endorsement deals, where the market is bigger, and you're going to pair alongside the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball. Here's the thing. Just because I said the Dallas Mavericks won this trade doesn't mean that the Lakers stink. The Lakers are still, in my opinion, a top 4 team in the Western Conference right now, currently constructed. Top four. You have the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Dallas Mavericks, the Denver Nuggets, and next is the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers with this roster could beat any other team in the Western Conference in a 7-game series with Luka and LeBron.
I'm not going that far.
I'm concerned, Perk, because their inability to play defense. Obviously, LeBron is 40 years of age, and he's not trying to sit in the chair for 35, 40 minutes a night. Luka plays little to no defense. Austin Reeves is the guy that they take advantage of when he's on whoever the elite guard. They go right at Austin Reeves. So now you lost your best defender. Anthony Davis can defend 1 through 5. He's tremendous in the pick and roll. And you lost Max Christie, who was a budgeting upcoming defender who started to play really well, started to find his niche. Now that's the problem that they have because they've always been a liability defensively. But the concern that I have with Luka, and Jay Kidd even spoke to this last year, implored Luka, we need him to play a little better. We're not asking him to sit in the chair for 48 minutes, but we're asking him not to just point when it's his guy that's running scot-free and shrug his shoulder when he gave up a layup, not to shrug his shoulder when it's his guy standing in the corner taking an uncontested three. His inability to come in and consistently be in shape, to take it seriously, that led to this. There's no other way around it, and eventually it's going to come out. But if you look at Luka, the reports, he's weight's supposed to be 230. He's 260. He's 270. It's that, and they feel, what's being reported, Stephen A. Perk, that is overweight, his conditioning is what leads to a lot of these injuries. And so they say, you know what? If we're having this problem now, and we've tried everything, had Mark Jackson on last night, Stephen A., your guy from NYC, and he was saying it's on the coaches to ask him to implore him to play defense. But as you and I have spoken, Stephen A., you can't want something for someone more than they want it for themselves.
His son, Bronny James, is on the team. Everybody has been receptive to that. And he's established a quality of life for himself living here in Southern California that he doesn't want to compromise in any way. But if we're living in fantasy land, let's live in fantasy land for a second. If I were him, I'd waive my no-trade clause. And I wouldn't mind going to Golden State and playing with Steph Curry. I certainly wouldn't mind. I would, a Big Perk and Shannon. We all know that I believe that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I am open to discussion, however.
No, he ain't going to the Knicks.
If LeBron decided to go to the Knicks, if he decided to go to the Knicks, Perk, if he decided to go to the Knicks, you know what I'm saying? I know they just got a whole bunch of second-round picks. I know they got a couple of players. They got Washington Wizards top 10 protected first-round pick in 2025. I mean, I see these things. I did say fantasy, Perk. You don't have to look like that. I did say fantasy. I said if we're living in fantasy land. I understand it's not reality, but damn it, if I could wish, you understand? I wouldn't mind seeing those things because the Lakers got a lot of building to do. There's no doubt about that. And I think that the Dallas Mavericks, when you say those 4 teams, Perk, I think I would throw Dallas in the mix because I think Dallas is just going to ascend over the last couple of months of the season. And I think that they're going to be one of the top 2 teams in the West. That's what I believe.
Listen, I agree. I believe that Dallas is is second in the West behind the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm with that. Here's the thing, right? We're talking about Luka and we're talking about LeBron. Number one, IQ alone is going to win them ball games, period. Number two, I know this for a fact. LeBron James is going to defer to Luka Doncic, meaning Luka Doncic is going to be the primary ball handler. LeBron James is going to be the guy that's playing off the ball, which he want to do anyway, which I believe he's better at this stage of his career. Let me educate you on why I say playing off the ball. We're going to see a lot more of LeBron James being the screen setter for Luka. Now, if you go out and you trap Luka, LeBron James get that pocket pass on the roll. Now, he is the playmaker. You have to pick your poison. It is going to be extremely hard for any team around the league to game plan for a 2-man game and Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Hell no, LeBron James shouldn't waive his no-trade clause. Hell no, LeBron should want to consider going to play with Steph Curry or the New York Knicks. If we living in the fantasy world, hell, I want to have breakfast with Beyonce and Oprah tomorrow. It ain't happening. At the end of the day, when you think about what's going, I want to sit down with some high-powered people. I want to pick their brain. Chill out over there, Shannon. I'm cooking right now. I need to get on Stephen A. ass. He pissed me off earlier when he said this on Get Up, talking about that LeBron James and Luka, he don't see it working. Well, we saw LeBron James and Kyrie. We saw LeBron James and Kyrie work. We saw LeBron James and D Wade work. We even saw LeBron James and Rajon Rondo work when they won a championship for the Lakers.
Yeah, it was a decade ago.
So what? LeBron has gotten better, especially with shooting the three ball.
First of all, stop that. Now that's asinine. You can be pissed off all you want to. Calm the head down. As you would say, as you would say, keep a cool booty. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. You don't get to ignore all the teams you raved about. I see Oklahoma City. I see Dallas coming. I see Houston coming. Let me put the world on notice right now. Young still looking for a #1 definitive option. I see Houston coming, okay? I see Boston still here. I see Cleveland on the right. Don't talk to when I'm looking at Luka and I'm looking at LeBron James, we know their greatness is not to be debated in any way. But you also know it's going to take a team. You also know that they're compromised tremendously on the defensive side of the ball. Who's going to be your center? Who's going to be your defenders? Those are questions to ask. They ain't playing themselves. They ain't playing horse. They're playing against some quality teams in the National Basketball Association with some young thoroughbreds that's going to come at them. What are you going to do about that? No, I don't see the Los Angeles Lakers being successful for their immediate future. It's an absolute great deal for them. They did the right thing. Their future down the line will be bright. But do I see them making noise with LeBron and Luka right now? No.
You listen, Stephen A. With this team right now, this roster right now, you add Luka, who, by the way, I have reports that he should be returning at least by February the 8th, which is Saturday. Okay, that's #1. Okay, #2, this roster currently constructed, their ceiling is the second round exit. Okay, fine. I don't believe that Rob Pelinka is done. If Rob Pelinka go out there and get the big fella from Utah, which he can, go out there and get him a dynamic roller and Walker Kessler and add him to the mix, because let's remember, now, two weeks ago, we was hearing reports that Austin Reeves was untouchable. Do we have that same energy now that they got Luka Doncic? We're looking at a guy in New Jersey with the Brooklyn Nets in Claxton, who's the dynamic roller, lob threat. You add him to the equation, especially after you just picked up Finney Smith and got him for a nice deal, who's been balling. And let's give credit to J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick is coaching his ass off right now. We just saw what he did to the New York Knicks and Tom Thibodeau.
You know, I love this.
Game plan was...
I love how you act like you saying something you didn't say already, like we didn't know that. We gave J.J. Redick question over the weekend. Gave him credit over the weekend. That's #1. #2, we talking about as presently constructed. Certainly, if you go out and you get one of those bigs, I understand your point. Right now, that's not what they have. They don't have any front court players. Right now, you got Jackson Hayes is going to be upset. They don't have anything right now. We're talking about right now. That's what we're talking about right now. We ain't talking about if Rob Pelinka goes before Thursday.
Hold on. Listen to me. Right now, it's two front court players that I'm worried about when it comes down to the Lakers. It's Jokic, and it's now Anthony Davis. What I'm saying is this. JJ game planning with that wonderful those assistant coaches that he have in McMillan and Scott Brooks. I like the Lakers' chances to push any team in the playoffs.
You're talking, Perk, like, oh, we're looking at a front line and Jokic, okay, you know, who else do you have to worry about scoring on them in the paint? I'm thinking about rebound, Shannon, pushing the ball up the court. You understand, with them young thoroughbreds they got to go up against, and cats like the 40-year-old LeBron James or Luka Doncic ain't getting back on defense. That's how I'm thinking about it. It's not just about some post player dropping 30 or 40 on you with post moves in the paint or something like that. It's about getting back on defense, which the Lakers have had a problem with Anthony Davis there. What's it going to be like now?
Thank you. And because we saw what Jokic did to Anthony Davis when he was on the Lakers. Now they don't have that presence. They don't rebound particularly well. They don't defend. We know LeBron doesn't play defense, nor nor can he play defense at the level he once could. LeBron was once an all-NBA player and a potential defensive player of the year for a number of years. Luka doesn't play any defense. They go at Austin Reeves. They don't really have no defenders, Perk. Now, yeah, you tell me they go out and get a Miles Turner or something like that. I said, okay, Perk, we might be, because Miles Turner can shoot the three and he can protect the paint. Now, he's not the defender that Anthony Davis is, because Anthony Davis is tremendous in the pick and roll, can defend 1 through 5, got a great mid-range shot, can shoot the three. Obviously, we know all that. But right now, you talk about Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves playing defense? Come on, Perk.
Hold on. Molly, I know we got to go to bump. Let me get this. I'm with y'all. This roster currently constructed. I said that their second round, they're still in this second round. But let's not act like they're going to be garbage. They're going to be right there in the thick of things.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Keep them going, try to wear, I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA, I'm a